Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing 10 tips for starting or growing a studygram account on Instagram. This is based on my personal experience running an account for about 2.5 years now, and I'm also going off of some trends that I've noticed in other popular studygram accounts on Instagram. I hope you find these tips helpful, and let's get to it. So my first tip, and one that you've probably heard quite often, but I can't stress enough, is to post consistently. I find I get more engagement from the Instagram Explore page when I'm posting daily versus when I'm taking a break, and people stay more interested in my content. Obviously, we're all busy people, and I can't take a picture every day with the same lighting and keep up my feed and edit all the photos. So what I'll do is over the weekend, I'll carve out a block of time and gather together a ton of different notes and bullet journal spreads that I want to take pictures of, and I'll take 10 pictures and edit them, and then during the week all I have to do is post and add a caption. This allows me to post every day when I'm not actually going through the whole process of taking photos. I've also heard of apps that let you schedule posts, but I haven't used or looked into any of them. I kind of just keep the pictures on my camera roll and post as I go. So tip number 2 is to take good photos with good lighting. This really helps because when someone is looking through your feed, I find that bright lighting and cohesiveness helps draw them in and make them interested in your work. It also just presents a better image overall for your content and your account. To do this, like I said earlier, and keep the lighting in my posts consistent, I will take multiple photos at a time so that the lighting is all the same, and I'll take them on similar days. When it's nice and sunny outside, I'll take a ton of photos, so that way when it's cloudy, I still have photos I can post with the sunny lighting. I take them in the same spot, usually on my desk, but I've also used my bed and a sheet in the past, and that's worked well. Even with the nicest lighting outside, my photos don't always turn out the way that I want them to look. I personally like the look of a brighter photo with a whiter background, so I'll use editing apps to help me with that. My favorite apps are VSCO and Lightroom. I've seen other people get really fancy and use Photoshop to do this, but I just like sticking with what's easier and what's on my phone to edit. The cool thing about those apps is you can create presets for yourself or copy the edits from your previous posts. So I'll just copy and paste the edits onto my new pictures, and it all looks the same even if it was taken on different days. My third tip is to take photos that highlight your work. So basically this means that when you're arranging your photos and arranging the layouts and the flat lays, you want to look at what you're trying to focus on in the actual photo. In my case, people like seeing my handwriting, so I want that to be the focus of my photo. I'll use minimal props so that the handwriting is really the center stage of each photo, if that makes sense, and it's what you see. If your handwriting maybe isn't as neat as you want it to be, you can add more items in the backgrounds of your spread to still add interest to your photos. So in the past, I've experimented with putting lots of flowers in the background or multiple pens. Right now I'm currently leaning towards a more minimalistic photo approach, mostly because I don't have the time or the energy to arrange something more elaborate. But if you want to, go ahead. I've seen other successful accounts whose photos themselves are like a work of art. They focus on drawings or pictures or props instead of just their handwriting. My fourth tip is to interact with other similar accounts. This means commenting on posts, following different people, maybe responding to stories. The one thing to remember though is you don't want to do this in an obnoxious way. For me personally, when I see comments that say, "Will you please follow me?" or "Can you shout me out on your page?" I find that really rude. I'm not free advertisement, and my account is not here to promote your account, if that makes any sense. So just be careful about the way you're portraying yourself or interacting with the other person. When people genuinely like my work and that comes across in their comments, I'm more inclined to follow them back and have a connection with them, compared to someone who's looking to use my influence as a way to increase theirs. Going along with that, my 5th tip is to do follow for follows or shout out for shout outs if accounts are offering them. When I first started, I really utilized this to my advantage, and it works well for both parties. I'll look and see in someone's stories that they're doing a shout out session, and if I shout them out, they'll also shout me out. In this way, it's not obnoxious because they're asking for it and you're both helping out each other compared to someone just asking for you to shout them out. So you can look for that too. I find that smaller accounts usually do this compared to bigger accounts, but that still helps to increase your following and promote your content to a wider audience. My 6th tip is to use hashtags. It's just as simple as that. You can just do whatever hashtags you see, or you can look at other accounts and see what hashtags they're using and also use them. This just helps to increase your exposure and share your content with a wider audience. My 7th tip is also about increasing your exposure. You can tag brands on your photos of products that you're using, and occasionally they might repost your work in their stories. There are also a ton of feature accounts out there that will repost your work, and if those feature accounts are popular, then more people will also see what you're doing, and if they like it, that will result in more followers. So definitely utilize those to your advantage. I know some people don't like having their work reposted, so it's really just up to you. I don't mind as long as people give me credit, because this isn't my business or anything, it's more just a hobby. But if you're serious about copyright and all that stuff, then maybe don't follow this tip. It's really just all about gaining more exposure though. And you hear me say that a lot, but the more people who see your content, the more chance that they like what they see and they'll follow you. So my 8th tip is to make sure that your content stands out. Now that you have all this exposure and all these people checking out your account, you want to have something that makes them click follow. Whether this is a pretty feed, a similar color palette, this is all up to you to decide how you're going to stand out from all the other accounts out there. This also involves looking at the aesthetic of your overall account, what you put in your bio, your profile picture, maybe your story highlight covers. All of this is part of the package and professional look that you're trying to portray through your account. If this is just something you do for fun, then you don't really need to worry about this. But if you're actually looking to really grow your account and start getting sponsorships and collaborations with brands, then you want to make sure that your account looks professional to go with it. My 9th tip kind of builds off of that, but it's to choose a memorable username. I know that sounds kind of strange, but if you look at all the top accounts with a ton of followers and lots of influence within the studygram community, you'll see that rarely the names are someone's name .studygram. It's usually something more unique than that, like they've put more effort into thinking about it. Of course, if you can't come up with anything and your name .studygram is fine, that also works. This is just what I've noticed. I don't know if it's completely true, but it just sets you apart from all the other people who have their name .studygram as their usernames. And then my 10th tip is just have patience. It takes a long time usually for an account to grow. It took me over 2 years to reach 30,000 followers, and every day it's an up and down. I don't really get caught up in the numbers. I didn't really start my account to gain followers. It kind of just happened as I kept posting, and over time it adds up. You really can't get too analytical about it, or else you'll drive yourself crazy and lose the reason why you started your account in the first place. For me, it was to gain motivation and hold myself accountable, and also just to share my work and hopefully inspire other people. So you just have to find out for yourself why you're doing this and what motivates you. If it's followers, I'm not sure that's the best mindset to have when dealing with this, because it definitely takes patience to see results. There may be 1 or 2 people who have like miracle success stories who gain 40,000 followers overnight, but I was not one of those people, and I know that a lot of other people aren't either. That's pretty rare, and you shouldn't expect that you will have that same story. So that's it. I hope you found these tips helpful. Kind of just saying whatever comes to my mind on this. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below or through my Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.